is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? In thy light, in thy love, in thy joy, I am one. I am one with the infinite. Om. In thy light, in thy love, in thy joy, I am one. I am one with the infinite. Om. What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? Welcome, friends. Nayaswami Hriman here at the Ananda community in Linwood, Washington, on a beautiful sunny day in Western Washington. The smoke from a week or so of fires all over the land has finally cleared. You know, the other evening going up to Ananda Farm in the dark, I saw the new moon in the western sky, and it feels like some sort of a transition has happened. The obvious one being, of course, the fall equinox. Now, usually summer will try to cling on and throw at us a few nice warm days, and that's lovely. No one's going to argue with that. And not all the fires are gone by any stretch. And they tell us that the fire season may be prolonged even into November owing to the La Nina oceanic effect. Nonetheless, it's a beautiful day today. And I'm going to read to you from Whispers from Eternity. It is Whispers number 133 by Paramahansa Yogananda, his collection of prayer demands and poems. Today's reading is called Demand for Quickening Activity. Let the waves of thy power dance on the river of my activity. As thou art intelligently busy making atoms, flowers, universes, so teach me to be cheerfully busy always. Thou art ever busy, yet eternally smiling in joyous hearts. Bless me that I may wear thy unfading smile as I work in the factory of life. There's a story Paramahansa Yogananda tells that, he had an extremely active life here in America when he arrived 100 years ago in 1920. Just hundreds of lectures to thousands of people, nonstop travel. But one time, in the midst of all of his activities, he prayed to God in the form of his beloved Divine Mother and complained a little bit about his being too busy. Now, that's probably never happened to you, but apparently he had this shortcoming. Anyway, so he prayed deeply about his overwhelming life. And then Divine Mother spoke to him in these words, saying, in effect, "Oh my goodness, I'm so busy," as the poem says here, "manifesting universes, and I'm in bliss. Can't you manage a small part of this universe and around your life and be happy?" And so he laughed, and of course he knew it was true. But we all have those times, don't we, when we feel overwhelmed. I certainly have gone through a difficult period having to do with our moves, the establishment of 2 different homes in 2 Ananda communities here in Western Washington. It's been and then with the COVID, suddenly having to learn these online skills, and it seems like every night or day I'm doing something online. So for all the staying at home that we do, or required to do, it's been a time that's busier than ever. We go through things. I have gone through some physical challenges here recently as part of all this intense activity, and fatigue has been a more or less constant companion. I tested negative, just in case you're thinking that, for the virus, but You know, it's an unrealistic expectation to assume that one who is on the spiritual path is somehow going to have life and vitality without end. Even Yogananda had a difficult time physically as he was taking on the karma of some disciples late in his life. And that's a common kind of thing, taking on karma. But in any case, we all have karma, whether we're taking someone else's or not. And the spiritual path, we get tested by how we respond to challenges, including physical health. To be able to stay the course, to stay calm, even when you're in sometimes severe pain. I've had this back thing. I call it sciatica, but I think it's a herniated disc. Anyway, about every 6 hours, when that Tylenol wears off, it can get pretty difficult. And yet it's also possible, we're all bipolar. Pardon me. We have our ever-present, omnipresent, ever-cheerful, ever-watchful soul presence. Okay? Like a guardian angel, just behind us, maybe it's on the right side, right? And and then we have this schmuck we call Hriman. This schmuck we call ourselves. In other words, this body, brother donkey, St. Francis called it. And yet, without this body, this body is a vehicle for enlightenment. The human life is a precious gift. It has been designed by God with the chakras, the astral, psychophysiological, cerebral axes to actually transcend the subconscious mind, to transcend, of which the body is an extension, to transcend the body and achieve a transcendent state of consciousness, which is the sole foundation of the world. And so we have this dual kind of nature, divine nature, human nature. And the key is to remain centered, to remain in the spine, as we yogis like to say. So even though when you may be in crushing pain or emotional grief or upset or disturbance, even anger, nonetheless, one can train oneself to not lose total touch, or at least you can aspire not to lose total touch with that transcendent, ever watchful, ever centered, ever happy, blissful nature of your soul. Tattvamasi, that is what we are. I was talking to a friend recently, a student of meditation, and he commented to me, rather wisely, that during his meditations, sometimes he doesn't have a very deep meditation, and yet he knows on some intuitive level, he said, I know that something is still happening. And I thought that was wonderful. It's not a new thought, but I thought it was wonderful that somebody's relatively new to this would actually know that that's true. The analogy I make is look at all the things the body is doing without my permission, hopefully all good things. Immune system and digestion and all these heart and all these wonderful things. They don't need my permission. And so what I'm saying is that when we make the effort to be still and know, what we call meditation, when we make the effort to have positive thoughts rather than negative thoughts, when we reach out and help people, something else is going on more than the deed itself. And that's even more so because conscious, when we are aware and intending and wanting, desiring to have contact with that higher self, that soul self, that divine presence, sometimes called God. Poor fellow God, he comes with a lot of baggage. So I always hesitate to use that word because someone's going to go popping off the screen on me. But it's a 3-letter word. I can spell it, I can say it, it's just convenient. But nowadays people want something more. They don't like the baggage, and I do appreciate that. Energy, which is to say vitality, motion, movement, the opposites, is the warp and woof of all creation, of our bodies, of our emotions and our thoughts. And so energy is the link between the matter that we see, the body, the world, the senses, and consciousness, pure and transcendent. This is why on the path of yoga, the breath, which is the most obvious and outward and accessible indication of our life. After all, if you're not breathing, you have a problem. And so the yogis wisely and practically learned that the breath is the key to the prana, to the energy, to the link between body, the world around us, and the soul, consciousness, God. And so I sang this little chant, what is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? And that's a wonderful mantra. And even though sometimes we are tired and sometimes we are ill and maybe discouraged and so forth like that, even all of those things are products of prana, products of divine energy. And we are energy conscious in this world of ours. We think about oil and solar energy and wind energy. We have energy medicine, a growing field, kind of outside the standard medical profession. In any case, energy consciousness, energy awareness is just, it's everywhere, okay? The more we feel ourselves as energy, the more we move energy consciously from, let's say, negative thoughts to positive thoughts, the more we have control of our life. And I'm going to end with a reference to a new system of exercise and energy, conscious, will-directing energy. Yogananda's great gift to the world we live in and in the centuries to come are encapsulated in his system of standing exercises known generally as the energization exercises, the tension will exercises, has a few names. And it's creeping into the medical profession and into the energy world of, tense and relax. But this system of daily exercises takes 10 to 15 minutes once or twice a day is just outstanding. You don't need a gymnasium. You don't need equipment. And it's just, I don't have time to get into it. But you should go on YouTube and Google, search for energization exercises. You'll find numerous videos that will teach you how to do it. Okay, great souls, thank you. High energy and joy go hand in hand. You want something done, ask a busy person. Joy to you, God bless you. And Padma will speak to you tomorrow at this same time at this same station. Blessings.